Notice I'm going to use my paper towel again. I can keep using the same paper towel multiple times. So the first thing it says that we're going to be doing on this is we're going to need 1/4 a spatula of our solid unknown, and this time how many drops of water do we need on 3A? On page 9.
10.
10. Okay, so this time we're going to need to do 10 drops of water with our 1/4 of spatula. So I have a clean, dry test tube. I need 1/4 of a spatula. Put it all the way to the bottom. Clean my spatula off. And now I'm going to add my 10 drops of deionized water. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so let that dissolve. We're good. Then we have to go add 1/4 of a spatula of iron 2 sulfate crystals and let them dissolve. And so at this moment, we are going to take our spatula and our test tube, and we're all going to go back to the fume test, or the fume hood, so that I can run the brown ring test. So, yep, that means you too. Alright, so our next step on this is that we need to add 1/4 of a spatula of iron 2 sulfate. So using a clean spatula, you're going to add 1/4 of a spatula of iron 2 sulfate. So I'm going to add that to the bottom. I'm going to let that dissolve. And so those have dissolved. If it does form a precipitate, then notice I have to go to a different step, but I don't have a precipitate. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my utility clamp, and this will just stay in here, so you just need to bring your test tube back each time. So looking at this, then I'm going to put it in the test tube clamp, slowly add 6 to 8 drops of concentrated H2SO4. This is extremely dangerous acid, so it always stays in the fume hood and never comes out. And so we're going to add 6 to 8 drops of that very slowly and let it run down the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, as it's slowly going down, we're starting to see that there is a brown ring that is actually forming on this. I'm going to suggest that you try this on a known nitrate before you actually try it on an unknown to make sure that you can get that brown ring. Okay, as soon as you move this, that brown ring is going to go away. So it is important that you try this and can make sure that you can get a brown ring on here. Okay. All right, so on this particular case, we do have a brown ring. I know it's probably kind of hard to identify here, but you can kind of see it down here and up above on that. And so knowing we have a brown ring test, we're going to take this with us and our spatula. And if we make any spills back here, make sure you put some baking soda down. And at this point, we're going to go back to the front and finish filling out our sheet. Okay, so at this point, we know that we have done iron hydroxide. We've also predicted that we might have nitrate. And so we have tried nitrate. And at this point with nitrate, we have used iron 2 sulfate and concentrated H2SO4. And with that, we found a brown ring. So we have a positive brown ring for this, and so that means that we have a positive test for nitrate. So that confirms that we do have nitrate ion. So we have now confirmed at this point that we have iron 3 and we also have nitrate. we have to have all the preliminary tests. We also have to have at least one confirmatory test for each that was not part of our preliminary test. At this point, we're now going to go down to the bottom and we're going to record the results. You're probably going to have a lot more confirmatory tests on your first one than I did, because I know what I'm doing and I knew what the sample was, so that helps. You're going to have to do some more confirmatory tests. So you could have, let's say we would have run a silver nitrate test, so we would have taken ours dissolved in water, reacted with silver nitrate, we had no precipitate. So that would have meant that we did not have chloride in that case. And so that's what we're going to use those confirmatory tests to find out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to the bottom. And let's fill in the results section. So the name of our compound is iron 3 nitrate. Iron 3 nitrate. The formula for iron 3 nitrate is going to be FeNO3, 3. I'm going to put the date turned in. I will fill in the points. And then I have to write a balanced chemical equation with strontium hydroxide. And really, folks, this is just for practice. Okay? So I'm going to say I have iron 3 nitrate plus, in this case, strontium hydroxide produces, well, if I have a compound plus a compound, what kind of reaction do I have, folks?
Double.
Double replacement. So I'm going to have iron 3 hydroxide plus strontium nitrate. I'm going to check to see if this is balanced. So I have 3 nitrates, 2 nitrates. So I have the 2, 3 going on, so I've got to have a 2 here. That gives me 2 irons. I put a 2 here, that's going to give me 2 irons. And now I have, what, 6 hydroxides, 2, so I need a 3 here, and I need a 3 here, and I should be balanced. Okay, so now you have an entire sample sheet of how to complete an unknown. Here in a minute, I'm going to give you your first unknown, and you're going to be working through that. You have to complete one entire unknown before you get your next one, and you will get a total of 3. Some of you will get a colored compound, some of you will not. It is a completely random spreadsheet that just assigns you basically to 3 unknowns. And so you're also going to be getting a results for unknown sheet that is blank. And so you will have 3 of these. So you'll turn one of these in to me to grade. You will not get this back once you turn it in to me. Okay? You have access. You can use the internet. You can discuss during lab. The only resources you don't have are the science teachers. And so we will not be answering questions other than safety or waste related questions. Okay? All right. Good luck.
Cut.